All right, welcome back. So today, getting ready for the weekend and to test out the Vendettas. Last time I had them out, had a couple of issues, which I think I got resolved. We got limiting on our front shocks. I'm not sure if I should have limited the rear, but the rear cranked all the way up. Front are cranked all the way down with limiting bump stops, fuel tubing on the outside of the shock to stop it from going too far down and scraping. Because what's happening is these things are picking up in the front and they're back flipping. So in order to fix that and stop the tires from rubbing the body and rubbing the ground, I've lowered these all the way down and I've installed fuel tubing right in here, and that stops it from hitting the ground. And then we got our hot racing center drive shafts in here, so I want to test those things out. But I got a couple of issues. The last time I had it out, I had the tires. These are the D-Boots Hoons Silver, which are way too strong. The compound's not soft enough to plant this thing to the road. So here we went ahead and ordered some more. These are the white compound. They're not the softest, they're the middle. And we're gonna get them on here and see if they'll hold up. If the whites won't work, then I'll go to the golds. I just didn't want to run the softest compound and tear up the tires. So we're going to try the whites, because the whites that came factory on this seem to do pretty good. I just feel in the D-Boots Hoons, being a stiffer tire, it's not going to grow as much, and I should be able to get a lot of speed out of these tires. So we're going to get these silvers off, we're going to get the whites on, and we're going to get that out going. The other thing I have is I got another balance lead that ripped a wire off. It broke off. So I've got it taped up now. I've got the replacement lead that I'm going to have to solder onto this so that I can fix this battery. And I was using this battery in the sledge, and somehow this got damaged, the balance port. I did charge it up once with the damaged balance port, because it's only the red lead, I believe, that came off. So I would plug the balance port in and then plug the one terminal in, and then I recharged it. But I got to get it fixed. So I've got the part to fix it. We're going to get that soldered up as well. Just things you have to go through with this, with speed running, or anything for that matter, bashing, speed running. So I'm going to keep the packages so that I can put these tires in it, because I might end up staggering these, running the golds up front and running the whites in the rear. I might end up doing a staggering thing. The less resistance I can get up front, the better. But this thing was kicking out real bad. When it got close to 100 miles an hour and I started applying the pressure, the back would kick out, it would go into a slide and then a barrel roll. So I'm trying to eliminate that. So I'm hoping the whites will do that. And then before I put the whites on, I definitely have to check the balance on these, because what's happening is, what I've been noticing is, they're Arrma quality, they're pushing these things out. There's a lot of glue that you can see on them. You see how there's a lot of glue on the outside? They're puddling. Well, by it being so messy on the glue, it makes the tire way unbalanced. And I've had a few of these that have been way off balance and create a lot of vibration. So we're going to try to see if we can if we got a good set of tires, for one, and then I'm going to balance them, because these little cars really need everything it can get going over 100 miles an hour. So I think I got that centered up. And as you see, I've got a lot of vibration in this tire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lessen it up, make sure that I'm centered. We're going to check it again. Yep. Not round and a lot of vibration. So we're going to let it go to the heavy side, which is down here. The bottom will be the heavy side. And what I'll do is I'll add some weight to the top. And I can't find my aluminum weight stuff, so I'm going to use some Gorilla Tape and strips to see if I can stack it up and get enough weight on one side. So I'm going to start out kind of heavy with squares. So I'm going to put a couple squares on one side of this tire. Let me make sure it balances out. It's funny, that big glue mark is pretty much at the top. And then we're going to stick this right in here. And by making this heavy over here, I'm hoping it's enough to balance this out. And wherever you put the weight, you kind of want the weight to go to a 45, and then that'll balance it out. So that is still not enough, so we're going to add more up there. So I'm going to keep stacking up on this one area. See if it drifts all the way back up to the top, which it does. So we're going to add a little bit more. We're almost there. So it stopped at a 45, so now we're going to give it a spin. And if you notice me holding it at the edge, the vibration's not there anymore. Even though the tire is going up and down. And that's what's throwing this thing off. The balance is good on it. So that's how you can balance tires. I suggest you check all your tires anytime you're doing speed runs. Most of the time you can get away with not having to balance a tire, but there are those instances I've noticed, you know, lately that that it's literally, look at that, look at the shake on that thing. You can see the stick moving up and down, and that's going to transfer throughout the whole chassis. So I'm going to get a set of these balanced up, and we'll be right back now that you know how I do it. I've showed this technique before. I've showed using lead weight. I've showed all different ways of balancing up tires. And you would think something this small wouldn't have an issue, but everything does. Wow. God, look at that thing. Just shaking away. They're definitely not flat. So a burnout might be in order to at least get the surface flat, because the surface isn't even round. But I'm going to get some more tape strips set up so that we can balance at least I mean, I got to balance 8 tires, so it's going to take a little bit to balance all 8. Especially at this rate. But we'll be right back, and then we'll get these installed, and then we'll get to soldering this. We'll inspect everything and make sure we're good for a run, get the batteries loaded up into it, get the bodies on. I think I might have to take some tape off the bodies, make some repairs. I just want to go over them before I hit speed run tomorrow. Be right back. All right, so I've got one set balanced up. 2 of them took a lot of tape, and 2 took very little. This one took 1 piece, this took 2 pieces. So the better balanced one I'm going to throw in the rear. The ones with a lot of weight I'm going to throw up front. We're going to do it that way. That way, at least if something happens to the weight, or I'm sure after this run they're going to pretty much balance themselves out, because once the tire gets round I have to recheck the balance on these things. That's a lot of weight. And I'm using Gorilla tape. That way it doesn't come off with the heat that's going to be generated tomorrow. It's a pretty warm day today, upper 70s. So I'm assuming, don't want to get these mixed up, the silvers and the whites. I don't know how you can tell the difference. Let me see if there's a dot on them, because if not, I'll have to mark them on the compound. Like, I see a white dot on these things, but it's not really like obvious. So that's supposed to be a silver dot, and that's supposed to be a white dot, but they're pretty close. So I'll put some silver paint on these, and I'll put some white paint on these. That way in the future I know. Right now I'll just label the bag. That way I know what's in the bag. That's why I like the Ziploc bags. It's too much weight. That's a front. This is a rear. And then I'm bringing out both cars. These things are doing pretty good. Bringing out both cars, that way if I have a problem with one, I have another. And that way if I wreck, I can always steal parts from one to another, at least make one, so I don't ruin my day, depending on how clear the road is. I'm going to try the road on Saturday. But if not, we're going to have to go on Sunday. That's pretty smooth. There's a lot of flex in these things. Checking all the screws. Make sure everything is tight. Especially with this steering. I have had a couple of flips with one of them. One seems to always be planted. And one seems to be kind of a little more squirrely. But they're both set up the same. It's funny, right out of the box, that first one I got, that promo one, that thing like was dead on. And then my two that I built, a little bit more squirrely. But I was able to secure the body from the demo model, because the person who bought it, the demo model, ended up switching out the body. The tape's all junk. Oh, that's really loose. I'm gonna have to tighten that back down, since I only have one screw holding this thing on. Oh, I didn't put the drive shaft in this one either. Thought I did. So I'll have to get this out, find the drive shaft. I thought I did both of them. So let me see if I have the drive shaft. I'll be right back. Alright, so I did find the drive shaft. So hot racing drive shaft, ATF 125L01. And then of course you need the bearing, ATF 125C11. So we're going to get this stuff opened up. Get this drive shaft put in. This bearing's got a little insert that'll pretty much set it up like the plastic drive shaft without all the slop. And this one doesn't have much slop because it hasn't been run very much. And these right out of the box, both these RCs have been on 6S. So, and if you're looking for the white Hoons, it's ARA 550095. That's the white Hoons. We'll see how those Hoons do. So, bearing will come up in here. I get this bearing support. More towards the middle. I should cut off all these battery connections because I'm never going to run dual batteries in this thing. There we go. No wobble, which is awesome. So we can eliminate that. Now, I gotta balance up another set of tires, so we'll be right back after I balance these up. Hopefully these aren't as bad as the two on the other one. I should have taken a match set. That's why you try to buy extra. Wonder how bad this set is versus the other set. And then I still have to fix that 6S pack, that Power Hobbies pack with 150C rating on it, which we know is not true, but it did have a lot of kick when it came to the sledge. So I really want to test. I've never put really good packs into this. It's always been really old basher packs to try to give it that soft hit when I was doing the 107 mile an hour runs with these. It's just amazing that these Vendettas are pretty much stock. Yep, that one's got a pretty bad shake to it. So I'll get these balanced up. We'll be right back. All right, putting on the last tire now. Went ahead and balanced them all out. This one actually had one tire that didn't need any weight. So I got one tire out of all of them that was good. But that's to be expected, considering they're glued and they're not glued smooth. So we got the drive shaft in on this one. Go ahead and get the silvers because they're brand new. Only had a couple runs each on them. So I might just put this on the infraction and do some bashing with it, some drifting. I think those tires would be perfect for that. So it's never a waste because they'll always be able to be used somewhere. So there we go. Drive shaft. Does this one have the bump stops? Yes. I did bump stop front and rear on this one. And then I went all the way up and all the way down. So this one I went a little higher on the spring tension, but now the mounts, the body mounts, are back to the way they were out of the box. So I'm hoping, I gotta add some tapes to the body on this. But now we're gonna get into fixing this battery so I can fully charge it and get it into these RCs. So these are just balance port extensions is what these are for 6S lipos, and that way I can use both ends. I can use this for fans if I want to, and then I can use this side for balance ports or for batteries. So I'm going to take this tape off and show you what I'm dealing with. And it's not super bad, but it's bad enough to where it makes it tough to charge. So as you see, the red terminal broke off right there, probably on a hard landing. This thing got smushed by the stuff forward, but it broke one of the ends off. That's how I was able to still charge it. But I definitely don't want to do a speed run with it like this. And because all of these are still hooked up, I don't have to guess, or not guess, I don't have to test where every cell is. So we're going to go ahead and get this end put on there. And what I like to do is go about halfway on this. Probably give it a little more. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And 6S ones suck. So these, I do save these because they do come in handy. And then even cutting it, it's not straight. So we're going to straighten these wires out. Just make them all nice and flat. Get a pair of chops, cut them nice and straight, and then we're going to do these one by one, soldering them on, and then I got to get some small shrink tubing to get on here so I can shrink tube it afterwards. So I'll be right back once I start this process. We'll be back. Alright, just finishing up the last of the soldering on this connector. Alright, there's the broken connector. Got the new connector on there. So there we go, all soldered up. Just cut it one by one in order. Now we can get this battery charged up for the speed run tomorrow. So all this stuff is just a part of regular RC. You're gonna have damage, you're gonna have issues. It's just getting them solved. So these cars are both ready for the speed run tomorrow. Next thing I need to do is I need to put a fan on the sledge, and that'll do it. But tomorrow, gonna get these batteries charged up, get out there, and see if these tires work on my road. See if the whites work way better than the silvers. If not, we'll buy some golds and go from there. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching.